What's going on, everybody? Another beautiful day in the neighborhood to be wrenching on the Mercedes. Today we're going to be doing the tie rod ends. As I mentioned in my previous video, I experienced a lot of vibration in the front, and I did confirm that it is the passenger side tie rod, but might as well do both while you're at it. So some of the tools we're going to need here, obviously the tie rods themselves. I'll put a description and link below to where I've gotten these. Are fairly cheap and I think by a good reputable brand. Obviously a jack, 2 jack stands, something to take the wheel off. In this case I have an impact wrench, electric one, 17mm socket which is attached to it. Basic socket set with a wrench, a ratchet, and once you're all done you're going to need a torque wrench. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'll jack this car up and we'll go from there. Alright, so now the vehicle's all jacked up and secured on jack stands. I'm just going to show you what that kind of looks like. Put it right here, not on this plate, they'll bend it. Right on here. I'm sure that's not what the manufacturer recommends, but it works pretty well and I've done it a few times. So I'm just going to demonstrate to you guys the wobble that I'm experiencing by wiggling the wheel left and right and showing you the movement of the ball joints, I guess, on the tie rod ends. Check that out. Check all out this movement. A lot of play. Now, moving up and down, there's no movement, so my ball joints are okay for now. But this here, big problem. So now that we got the wheel off, we want to remove this nut here, as well as this nut back there. I'll point right to it, right over there. They're both 17mm. Got my 17mm hooked on here. I'm gonna go ahead and loosen these up and measure the old one compared to the new one, kind of by counting the teeth or just sitting them side by side and measuring the length. That way you can kind of avoid an alignment as much as possible, but you may have to go and get it done anyway. So go ahead and take that off. Right now that we're loosening both of the nuts here and here, what we're going to do now is tap this end here with a hammer. I have a ghetto hammer here because my handle broke, but it should be enough force to just tap along here to get this to loosen up. And then the one on the other side, you can just kind of wiggle it left and right, up and down. It should come right free. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, take that out, and put them side by side and see how much of a variance there is. Right, guys, it's free right here on the ground. Now, let's go out to our box here. So you can see Delphi Technology ones, brand new. Now the tricky part here is when I went online, it didn't look like there was a difference between left and right. But they did say left hand thread and right hand thread. I'm assuming that's left and right. The part numbers do differentiate from one another. However, looking at them side by side, you can't tell any difference. So 2048 here, TL 2048 and TL 2049. So upon opening these up, got a nice little safety seal here that tells you it's authentic, I guess. So I'll grab this. Completely out of the box. Pretty good quality, seems like. Remove it out of the bag. Wiggle, wiggle. There it is. Looks identical. Decent. The only thing I've noticed here, the difference between the two here, is the black nut on this one is black, the other one is silver. So I'll go ahead and show you. Open this one from the other side. Out of there. I have to open these, so I don't sit here and film too long. So as you can see, silver, black. Now let's go back to our old one here and check out that wiggle. I'm gonna hold it with my foot. Look at the amount of play on this. This is completely shot. Probably the original one, to be honest. Let's see. Terrible. Alright, so I'm gonna set it side by side and see what kind of adjustments I need to make. Alright guys, so having them here side by side seems to me like the one from the driver's side better matches with this one. This one is part number TL2049. So left or right, I'm not sure. It matches up best. I think it should be okay. I'm sure if you go and get the OEM ones or OEM supplier ones, it'll probably differentiate between left and right pretty explicitly. So what we got here is, I've counted the threads on this side and on that side. We have 10 up here and we have 11 up here. So I'm gonna turn this out, 11 and 10, and put it on the car. And that should be it for the driver's side. And I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the left, or the right side, passenger side. All right guys, so as I was attempting to turn the threads, this is left hand thread, meaning left loosens and right tightens. So when I originally said that this one here is the correct one for the driver's side, which was part number TL2048, it's actually not. This is the passenger side. So the TL2048 is the passenger side. So allow me to demonstrate here. As you can see, left extends it as we're used to, where on this one, left actually threads it in. Left threads it in. So this is the driver's side one. So sorry about that. I'll go ahead and use the correct one. All right, so out with the old and with the new. So make sure this one goes in from the bottom, this one slides in from the top. And one thing I forgot to mention is these tightening bolts here are 13s. So in order to get the, well, they come already kind of loose. So to tighten them up, make sure you put a box wrench on the bolt and your ratchet on the nut, or vice versa, whichever you prefer, and tighten that down. I'll put the torque specs for both these nuts here and these items here in the description below. All right everyone, so everything is back on now. I should say the tie rod is back on. We have to just put the wheel back on, do the same thing to the other side, and that's all we have. Should be good. Your steering should feel tight, and you may need an alignment. You may need an alignment after this. Just keep that in mind. All right, guys. We'll see you next time on the next repair video regarding this vehicle. Thank you.